My gosh. Hey guys, welcome back. Here to do another reading for ya. Here to do another one. I just went to go check to see if I was actually connected to the thing that I wanted to connect to, but that's fine. I'll check later because it requires me to be absent. And I don't want to be absent, love. That's not cute. So let's pull some tarot cards and get a message for you, don't we? All right. Messages. Oh yes, we'll start as well. We'll start. Sorry guys, I like low key got half distracted because I heard the doorbell ring, and then it like threw me off. But no, we're getting right back on track, mate. So, a little disclaimer. Obviously, at the end of the day, take everything that resonates and leave what doesn't. Use your own discernment because you are your own spiritual guru, as I say every time I do these videos. Okay, and so when we're talking about these cards that we are doing today, it's going to go by your sign. Depending on if you have that sign in a different planet, I might mention that planet, and that'll be including you, Uku. It's common sense, I think, so I don't really need to say that. I feel like I said it anyway, so maybe I did. I guess I did. Anyways, let's go. Talking about, we shall start in Aries because Aries is the first sign, and we need to do things a little bit in that perspective. Well, alright. So, any messages or guidance for our Aries sun, moon, rising, or Mars? If you have a sun, moon, rising, or Mars in Aries, then this is probably going to resonate in some way, shape, or form. Okay, so when it comes to our Aries, we have the Tower. The Tower. So there's some kind of breaking down of a foundation of a mental state of an aspect of your life that you maybe possibly don't want to break down and let go of. So this tower moment is coming because your spirit is waiting or yearning for some form of change, all right? The tower moment comes when you have been holding on to a structure, to a mental state for too long, whether it's in the form of a person, place, or thing, or a situation. Regardless of what it is, the tower is talking about you being kind of crumbling and letting go of certain foundations that you have laid because these foundations are obviously rocky. You know, a good foundation won't crumble and fall. So whatever's going on right now with this tower energy, it's talking about foundations that are necessary. They're needed to crumble and fall in order for things to be built anew in a better way, in a better state. And then we have the King of Cups in reverse as well. So this is indicating like feeling kind of either not in tune with your emotions, or it could be that you are feeling like very on the side of being very sensitive to how others feel around you, or being very sensitive to the emotions that's going on around you as well. But generally, as well, because it's in reverse, it could indicate that you are going through some kind of emotional struggle during this time. So take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And then we have Ten of Swords. So this is obviously, I don't know, Ten of Swords doesn't give me the best kind of indication. I'm pretty sure it's like overthinking or something like that, or losing sleep and that kind of stuff. So it's like you're being interrupted from a sense of peace, from a sense of balance, right? You're being shaken out of like this balanced state that you've kind of taken for yourself, which is tying into that tarot card as well. Because whatever you have been balancing on wasn't sturdy enough in order for it to stand the test of time, or it wasn't sturdy enough so that even if the tower crumbles, you still have that foundation laying there in the bottom. You still have that foundation for you to be able to build off of. You're not left with nothing, basically. So when it comes to this situation, it's talking about you, if you're losing sleep or you're feeling like kind of interrupted from your peace or shaken up mentally and emotionally, then it's a sign of your foundation wasn't strong. Whatever foundation is crumbling, whatever maybe like kind of like loosening its grip, wasn't strong enough. And in order to strengthen your foundation, you might need to do things in a more different way than you're normally used to. That's for our Aries, and I want to actually pull a card on what kind of energy can you guys focus on to kind of bring yourselves back into alignment with your goals, your purpose, your aspirations, whatever the heck you may be going towards, like that's benefiting you, not negative shit, right? So you need to work through your fears, and then you need to bring love into the situation. These cards say, work through your fears, bring love into the situation. So you need to do that shadow work, that Scorpio 8th house shadow work, transform your inner space, put death to whatever you're afraid of that's holding you back. Put death to the things that, like, even all the way down to like holding on to certain mind states you might be afraid of, like being like different. And that comes up with this card too. Like, I didn't even notice that Aquarius here. Aquarius is all about being unique, being different, right? So, and then we have like, don't let pride get in your way, but because it's in reverse, is giving the implication of like you're not prideful. If anything, like you're like the opposite of that. And so it's saying not to let that part of yourself get in the way. Like, don't overthink about how you might appear towards others or how you might be. Like, release those fears of being yourself and being in that Aquarian energy. Bring love into that situation and see yourself through loving eyes, bitch. You need to stop with the self-hate, love. Stop with the self-hate. That's interesting for Aries. I don't know what happened to your Aries going on right now, but actually, no, I do. It's Aries opposite season. We're in Libra, so Aries are going through it right now. But Aries, they're normally on top. They're normally A1, A1. But just during Libra season, it's a little bit rocky for some Aries. So you got this. So we'll move on to Taurus now. Now we're moving on to Taurus. We have the first sign for Taurus. Okay. Oh my gosh. The card wouldn't come out. And actually, no, I kind of got distracted because I saw someone come in and I was like, oh my gosh, like actually someone came in. But anyways, any messages or guidance on Taurus? Messages or guidance for the Tauruses? You got the Hierophant card. Okay, that's interesting. So use it in your natural state, use it in your natural energy during this time. Use them more in tune with like your Taurusian self, right? You're not really going against your natures. You're more in like a state of peace, in a state of harmony with yourself. And this is like keeping things more balanced, having consistency, being fixated on your own way of practicalizing and thinking about things, and like kind of making up your mind about things. Making up your own mind about stuff, as well as like when it comes to like upholding like certain foundations and certain aspects of yourself that you want to keep consistent, you want to keep flowing, you want to keep going, right? So this is a good sign. It could be also, depending on if you're like implanting bad seeds as well, it could also be you being more stubborn or stuck in your ways when it comes to certain things, right? So when it comes to this card here, it's like this card talks about success and recognition, but it's also in reverse. So it's talking about like not really being recognized or not having some kind of success or not being able to boast, or not even talking about boasting, but just like a lot of people might not be able to see how in tune or how connected you are to yourself right now, or they might not recognize some aspects of yourself that you're doing in terms of being consistent, aiming towards your goals, and like smashing out shit, keeping up, the daily routines and patterns and rituals that actually help you to maintain a certain sense of value of, you know, um, those Taurus kind of qualities and those earthly kind of qualities, practical, making sense, thinking, all that kind of feel. So when it comes to as well, the bottom of the deck, this is the world card. So when it comes to this, like I feel like a lot of people in the world, when you go out into the world or when you share your world to others, it's not necessarily always recognized. Okay. So you may be sometimes like with this card here, the Two of Cups in reverse, feeling disconnected or not feeling in harmony with certain states of being when it comes to like the state of the world mentally right now, right? So when it comes to these kind of cards, this is talking about like the energy that you're actually in. But regardless of it as well, it's this card at the end is saying the sun, you actually more see the brighter side of things. You more are doing it because it's something that you're entertained by, something that you want to entertain, regardless of what that may be. And that's what's keeping you consistent at it, because it ignites a certain fire within you, it ignites that Leo kind of energy, right? So this is what's keeping you so consistent. So nothing can really throw you off, regardless of if you are being recognized or not by the world. So yeah, you got on, honestly. Any messages or guidance? Have faith in your dreams, but this one's reversed. I haven't seen this one come out reversed before, but this is giving like the implication of like having faith in your dreams, but it being in reverse is to like kind of don't overly expect your dreams to play out in a certain way, or have such high expectations about how your dreams can play out that you get discouraged if they're not played out in a certain aspect. All right. So that's all you guys have for this reading, Taurus. I hope you enjoyed it. Keep up the good work. Do you? And I'm a Taurus too, so I'm gonna say that that did resonate. So I'm happy, and I can't wait. Also, if you're Taurus and you did that reading, it's talking about obviously sun, moon, rising. Every single reading is always sun, moon, rising, and then when it comes to the other planet is Venus. So if you have sun, moon, or rising, or Venus in Taurus, then this is the indication that that reading was for you. Okay. So let's move on. I'm going to do this Moonology deck first for our Cancer, no, Gemini's, Mystar. Any messages for the Gemini? What kind of energy are in love? Well, could be a stagnant energy because those cards took freaking ages to come out. And we have the emotions are running high. The emotions are running high, and the answers you need are coming with the Gemini new moon. Okay, so, or Gemini full moon, actually, sorry. So emotions are running high. Supermoon is talking about you being in a more heightened emotional state during this time. You're more emotional, you're more reactionary, possibly, than usual, than you're normally used to. Okay. And then we have the answers you need are coming. But when it comes to the answers you need are coming, this is kind of indicating almost like a first, it made me think that possibly you've been thinking about or overthinking a lot about getting certain answers or being indecisive about something, right? Because Gemini can sometimes be in that indecisive energy with the two sides, right? So when it comes to this, it's talking about the answers you need are coming to kind of put you in a space of knowing. At the end of the day, you create your reality with your mentality, right? So if you are constantly in a state of thinking that you don't have answers, then that's going to manifest, right? So this card is here to say, like, the answers are coming. You know what you need to know. You just need to be receptive to the mentality, to the mental state of knowing, of being in a state of knowing, right? So don't worry and stop overthinking and being indecisive. Sometimes it requires you to separate from the situation before you actually um, make that decision or make a conclusion logically within your brain about how the situation actually is. All right. So sometimes you need to just kind of disassociate, jump into your that Aquarius energy and disassociate from certain emotions or certain states of being, certain thought patterns, right? Because you may be putting too much juice into it. And then once you actually like bring yourself to a more better state of being, then you'll be able to make more decisions, more clearer decisions, and receive more clearer answers with your mind being open and not so flooded with thoughts and feelings and like all that overthinking Gemini kind of energy. So when it comes to that as well, Gemini, we are talking about what's it called? Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, of course, and Mercury. Sun, Moon, Rising. Okay, so 10 of Wands. We have the 10 of Wands by being overburdened or overburdening yourself, putting too much on your shoulders. Do you see that girl? She's got too much on her shoulders. She thinks she's like the rock, like of the world. Like this, you can't hold a whole entire civilization under your shoulders. You can hold a civilization within your body, within your mind, but yeah, that's a whole different story. Wearing it on your shoulders, honey, you don't need to worry about that because everything will emanate, right? So the more you put onto your shoulders, the more you will start to realize that you can't hold it, you can't carry it, right? Situations are going to come around, Queen of Pentacles, to show you, right? You're going to go through some kind of experience, feminine aspect, and you're going to be shown in a way that you may not want, all right? And also just pay attention to the situations that you're allowing to overrule your mind, okay? I don't know why my accent keeps changing. Maybe you're really into accents, okay? Maybe you keep changing around other people. Um, so be aware of what situations you're putting yourself into and what responsibilities you're holding on to, what roots you're building, and where you're branching out to when it comes to this Queen of Pentacles, all right? And then conflict, all right? So you need to pay attention to what areas of your life you have conflict in, whether it's internally or externally, in order to bring more balance, right? Maybe there's too much conflict and you need to fight fire with fire and tell someone to stop, cuss them out, or whatever the heck may need feel like you may need to do in this situation. I'm not in your situation, but regardless, pay attention to some form of conflict going on during this time, right? And this will help you to disconnect from this energy and relieve a certain burden off your shoulders. So if you're conflicted mentally or physically, situationally or meditationally, then be aware. Utilize things as a tool. Do not let them utilize you, okay? Because you are not the tool, honey. You're the observer. Okay. Any moving on. Cancer, we have Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and we also have, oh, that's it. Sorry, Cancer, you only have the Moon. Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, any messages for them? Let's go. So you guys have the Queen of Cups as your first card, right? The Queen of Cups. So you are in like, Queen of Cups reminds me of like you're experiencing something when it comes to something that makes you feel a certain type of way, right? You know, like she's walking on the water. I feel like she's like able to like be free in her emotional state. She's not so trapped. She's not so confined, right? And she's also able to kind of freely feel and jump into a certain emotion and jump out of a certain emotion. So you're quite balanced during this time is what I'm seeing, right? Depending on, you know, if you don't resonate, then this reading's probably not for you. But when it comes to this one, you're quite balanced, right? You're quite emotionally structured and sound. Okay, so this is allowing you to really be in a state of more bliss, like in a state of more pace and experience like kind of the fruits of your labor when it comes to your emotional state, okay? And then this card here, this is talking about the like I don't know, this guy's got swans around him. If they I think there's swans and he's flying and he's got a sword and he's like got a swan with him, like he's kinda like looking down at the swans. He's looking down at his lower animalistic nature. He's looking down at the lower aspects of himself, and you're able to, like, kind of not be affected by them. You're protected from them. You're in a joyous, kind of happy space because there's a lot of yellow here as well. So you're in more of a, like a joyful, kind of happy, kind of state of being, or like you've got that golden energy. Okay, you've got that golden which is making you feel more satisfied, more happy about certain things, and having a better outlook and better way of thinking about things as well. And then we have the Page of Cups as well. So, and they came out to facing to the left. So it's like you're, even when you're in like a left or a like kind of like a state where you're like having to let things go and having to bring forward to certain things, let go of certain aspects. It's like you know how to separate, how to go left field from some certain situations, and even when it comes to this, it's like sensitivities, things that you were sensitive to, like or things that you're sensitive to. It's talking about like either you already know this or you're it's like kind of like um an energy that you should focus on right now as well. And like if it's saying that you should focus on it too, I would argue that you've already been focusing on it. So like really it's about paying attention to the things that you're sensitive to, being sensitive to your senses. Like if you watch my other video where I talked about your sixth sense, being sensitive to your senses, your thoughts and your feelings, and what states of being you get taken to when you move into certain spaces and maybe certain places and situations, people, places, and things, love. All right. So, any other messages or guidance for what you guys might need to pay attention to? And let's see the bottom of the deck. We have the Empress at the bottom of the deck, love. Right here, the Empress. So this is like again that nurturing kind of space. You're cultivating and nurturing a more balanced state of being for yourself because the Empress is ruled by Libra, I'm pretty sure. Well, actually, I think it's just the Venus planet in general. But because it's like the Emperor and the Emperor's Aries, and I know the opposite sign of Aries is Libra, so okay, so here we have what you guys need to utilize during this time and what energy you may need to use is expect powerful change, right? So expect powerful change, but it's in reverse, love. So this is talking about not having too many expectations about things, release your expectations before you go into a situation, right? Let go of like those certain sensitivities that you may have when thinking about a certain situation as well, or jumping into your lower animalistic natures where you're expecting or wishing on something, you're hoping for something, right? Kind of jump out of that space of overthinking and worrying about something before you jump into it. And then you'll be able to jump into it with a lot more of a cleaner mind state, and you won't be so restricted, love. All right. This will allow you to be more like kind of free in the circumstances that you go through to, and like kind of enhance the energy you're already in of being emotionally fulfilled. And now we're moving on to our Leos. Leo, here we are pulling some cards for you. We have Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising, alright? That's it. Because you are like Cancer, you only have the Sun. Let's go, love. Hey. The Hierophant, so it uses separating from some, because it came out facing towards the left. With the Hierophant facing towards the left, uses separating from some tradition, some kind of, either it could even be like a religion as well. Like you could be like exiting or stepping out of a religious state of mind, a religious mindset, or you're separating from being so rigid and being stubborn, being in a stubborn space, or not being like kind of fluid. So you're jumping into a space where you're sort of more fluid in a certain aspect, and you're more in tune with your intuition, right? Your inner selves, and doing like kind of, because the moon in reverse at the bottom here, kind of like you're doing more shadow work. You're going within and analyzing certain parts of yourself that you know are not really beneficial to your reality and your mindset, which is helping you to kind of clear things out and create a better space where you're not stubborn and you're able to be more harmonious underneath the bottom of the deck. You're able to be more harmonious and celebrate yourself, celebrate the situations that you're in, right? And then let go of the certain things that you're fixated on before, the stubborn mindsets that you allowed yourself to be in, okay? And then we also have this card here underneath the bottom of the bottom of the deck. This is in reverse, so like being mindful as well, like not to get too distracted or to get too led off your path as well. Distractions can be big, and these can cause you to postpone certain things that you might have been able to charge towards with the King of Wands here more quickly and manifest them in a more sufficient manner. But because those distractions are there as well, see it as like a challenge. You know, the King of Wands likes to see things like that as a challenge to overcome, to utilize his fire, his passion to actually overcome whatever tries to block it. And then we have the end of a tough cycle approaches, but this was in reverse, okay? So the end of a tough cycle approaches is, I think this card is talking about being mindful of certain cycles that you may be allowing yourself to continue, okay? And keep focused on ending tough cycles. Don't let the stagnancy or the distractions distract you from like clearing the actual cycle that you originally started to want to clear and let go of, clearing and letting go and separating from the mindset that you originally wanted to let go of. All right, because otherwise, you know, you have to like kind of spend more time and more time, which, you know, it's not bad, but if you want to get that shit done now, this is your warning, love. Well, who gives a shit about the warning? At the end of the day, it's your life. You do you, eh? But this is how we do. So that is for you, Leo. Now we are moving on to so we had Cancer, Leo, and now we have Virgo, and then next is Libra. Messages are for our Virgos. Knight of Wands. So you're in that confident kind of energy, you're in that kind of proud kind of state, you're in that like kind of being more in a state of looking up above the horizon, keeping your head up. Okay, you're looking towards more greater, better things. You may be looking towards moving, okay? Or you may need to move and get out more, kind of boost that energy, expand that space that you're already in of being confident like this as well. Like I think you're doing the energy that I'm seeing is like you're doing a lot of traveling, or you're wanting to do a lot of traveling, or kind of go and move to lots of different places, like either to live or just to visit. But like these things are, this card is definitely like pointing towards that kind of mental space that you have for yourself. All right, so that's a if you've been thinking or wanting to travel or or just go out in general more, then this is kind of can be seen as a confirmation that you should. But take what resonates and leave what doesn't at the end of the day. And regardless, if you want to travel, just travel. You shouldn't need a reader to tell you about that. Any messages or guidance for our Virgos on what you guys might need to utilize during this time? Okay, you may need to separate from being a little bit stingy, or maybe you need to separate from over giving and being over generous, right? And going out too much to the point where you're constantly pouring out your esoteric currency or your physical currency. Yeah, like pouring your fountain. So don't pour into something so much, like put all like it's like that kind of energy. Don't put all your eggs into one basket, because you may need your eggs for another basket when the time comes. All right. So just be mindful of where you're putting your energy and what you're putting your energy into during this time. And this will help you to be a little bit more like efficient when it comes to your energy and your money. Okay. We have new moon in Capricorn, right? But okay, out facing towards the left. All right. So you may be separating from a certain state or place of being known for something, or you may be separating from a certain structure or status that you've built for yourself, yeah, over the years. So you may also just be separating from working your ass off too, because your hard work is paying off, Tamer. So these are kind of energies that you may be separating from when it comes to you Virgos, okay? Virgos. The end of a tough cycle approaches. Again, so user ending cycles definitely user like kind of letting go of a certain aspect of your life, moving on with this card as well. You're going towards like a space where you're more in alignment with something that kind of ignites your inner flame possibly as well. And this is allowing you to be more generous, but just being mindful not to overspend and not to give away all of your energy and pour all of your eggs into one cup. And then your hard work is your hard work is paying off, not approaching love. And the end of a tough cycle approaches. So this is talking about obviously, um, you know, developing a sense of status, developing a sense of being known for something, and letting go of an old lifestyle that you may have been in before. So great job, Virgo, not Capricorn, Virgo. Great job, Miss Virgiana. And I hope you guys enjoyed or got something out of the reading, okay? So we are moving on to the next sign. After Virgo, we have Libra. So Miss Libra. Any messages or guidance for the Miss Libra? Okay, so you have the Sun card, but it came out facing to the left, all right? So This is like separating from some form of ego or some light, some way of being seen or being center stage or putting yourself in the forefront of something, or prideful energy. So separating from all these kind of energies, all these Leo-like energies, all these sun-like energies, or you may just be separating from being more external, being more out there, putting yourself out there more, and like jumping into a more internal moon-like space. Okay. And then we also have like Eight of Wands, which is like about like passion and like kind of um going for your dreams and like carrying them out um in the way that you want them to. So this is with the Sun card, is talking about you more now are separating from that fear of being seen, separating from that space of maybe wanting to be seen in a certain way, and you're jumping more into a space where you are like proud of yourself, you're confident in your ability, you're confident in your gifts and your talents, and this is making you more passionate and more of a go-getter, and you're able to actually reach for your dreams rather than just sit idly and let them, you know, pass you by. Any messages or guidance on what you guys might need to pay attention to? These two cards, hold your vision, right? Okay, that is cool. That just resonates 100%. The energy is gaining momentum and hold your vision, all right? So whatever energy work, whatever manifestations you guys are doing right now, it's building up, it's picking up for you guys, and just keep on putting the energy work into it. Stay fixated on your goals, on your passions, on your purpose that you have for yourself, and you'll be able to see more fruits from your labor. And you know, it may take a while, but just remember and know that it is coming because you've already put yourself on that path. You already have a successful mindset. So you're bound to experience success regardless of what shape or form it may come in. So remember that. Remember that you literally have a successful mindset, and that, you know, it's going to come to you because of your mindset, because of the state of being that you're in. Do, 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 da. Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to fix my cards because I think they got kind of muddled up. They keep getting like really muddled. Like I can't even tell, to the point where I can't even tell if the deck is like upright or not. You know what I mean? I'm sure if you're a reader, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Actually, I feel like that's just a common sense kind of thing, right? Possibly. All right, let's move on. Now we have Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio, our Scorpios. Any messages or guidance for less Scorp? Oh my gosh, I forgot to do the Sun Moon Rising thing for like the Virgo and Libra. But if you're Virgo, it's Mercury, Sun Moon Rising, and Mercury. And then if you are Libra, it is Sun Moon Rising and Venus. So any messages or guidance for our Scorpios? You got two reverse cards, so you're in some kind of impatient energy right now, and you're in some kind of lacking kind of energy. You're like in out of touch with your magician energy or a magician space. You're out of touch with your ability to create and manifest and utilize the elements, your thoughts, your feelings, your your actions, and your ability to make no. Well, really, it's just your thoughts and your feelings. You've got a lack of ability to utilize your thoughts and your feelings to create some kind of magical circumstance for yourself. And you're in that realization of thinking, oh, I'm impatient. I want my desires to come out right now, right? Because Scorpio is about transforming your deep passions and desires. So you're in this space where you are impatient about your deep passions and desires, and you are not seeing your ability to be able to create your reality through your thoughts and your feelings, because if you just shifted your mindset, then you wouldn't have to experience this, all right? And then we have here at the bottom of the deck, it is being at conflict. You've got some kind of internal or external conflict going on, and you're battling between yourselves, okay? And this is restricting you from being able to actually have that patience, because instead of jumping into one state or another, jumping into a patient state or jumping into a fulfilled state or whatever state of being can help you to stop being impatient. You are allowing this battle to continue within you. And the Nine of Swords as well. That's like overthinking kind of energy. So you've got like this internal battle with your thoughts and your feelings. Your thoughts are thinking one way, your thoughts are like thinking in a more calm aspect, in a more balanced aspect. But then your emotions are more at like in a fiery kind of fight, conflict kind of aspect. All right. So this is for you guys in Scorpio. In order to get out of the state of being, you can simply shift your state of being. You can feel how you want to feel. Feel a certain emotion that you know you've already felt before. Okay, so you know what it feels like to be happy, right? And just you can feel happy. Like it may sound stupid, but if you give it a go, you might actually be able to. You might realize that you can actually execute things a lot quicker than you're led to believe. Dollar has a video. Dollar to Parliament on YouTube has a video you can go visit, and it's how to feel good if you want to learn more about what I just said about feeling happy and just feeling it. Be bold and make the first move. Okay, so you have some kind of deep passion and desire to go towards something, but you're restricting yourself, right? So this is encouraging you to make the move. Do whatever you feel like you want to do in order to execute or carry out a certain thing. And don't do it from that impatient state, though. Don't do it from that space of being in a desire constantly, because then you're just going to manifest more states of desire. So, Miss Scorpio, any messages or guidance of what you guys might need to utilize during this time? And I don't know if there's any cards coming out. It's just stagnant energy. Miss Stagnienta. So you might be feeling like at kind of like in more of a stagnant state of being. Like things are not moving for you, right? Because you're a Mars sign. So Mars is a lot more faster than like let's say another sign. So a time for healing. Yeah, so you need to let go of some kind of energy, some kind of states of being that you've been stuck in for a while, all right? And let go of your lack mindset. You need to realize that you are the creator, all right? Use your thoughts and feelings, don't let them use you. Okay, so moving on, we have our Sagittarius, okay? What are you guys going to utilize? Oh, what energy are you guys in? Sorry, Sagittarius. When it comes to Sagittarius, you guys have the King of Cups, so use it in a very like positive emotional space during this time, and also peeked out the Sun, so use that like in a positive, more entertained emotional space during this time. Use feeling sunny, you know what I mean, like feeling sunny. And when it comes to this, it's like feeling really, really good. And then this is feeling good too. In that sunny kind of energy, having fun, being creative, being expressive, being kind of out there. So you're more in an external kind of energy. You're being more connected when it comes to the people around you, kind of externalizing, expressing your emotions with the people that you know you're interacting with when it comes to your reality, expressing the way you feel when it comes to expressing your creativity, putting that on the forefront and making decisions in relation to those things. So whatever decisions you're making is kind of aligning you with your path to be more creative, right? More innovative when it comes to how you're going to juggle your responsibilities, how you're going to kind of balance situations in your life, maybe bring in new situations in your life as well. And also like this Phoenix in reverse, maybe you're like resisting some kind of transformation, all right? And this is what you're kind of juggling. You might be resisting transforming a certain aspect of yourself, or possibly like you're just in like a rebirth kind of state, but your rebirth is very smooth, it's very balanced. You're not really feeling like you're falling, you're more like feeling in a more balanced, peaceful state. Okay, so great energy, love. Any energy you may need to utilize during this time. Prosperity lies ahead, so have like a prosperity mindset, have like a consistent, balanced, practical kind of mindset too with this Taurus energy. Jumping into that Taurus energy, having that patience to carry out what you need to carry out in order for prosperity to come through, right? You know, keep at whatever goal or passion that you are doing right now, and you will see like more better fruits of your labor. But if you don't really have a goal or a passion right now, then this reading's probably not for you anyway, because how you're going to get prosperity if you don't have a goal or a certain thing that you're aiming towards. All right, so, or if you don't have something that you're involving yourself into the world, at least this prosperity doesn't just have to come in money. Prosperity can come in like the form of people, which again, communication is key, right? Communicating and expressing and talking about networking, making friends, making one-on-one connections with people that are more consistent, that are more stable, that are able to have a foundation, right, with this Taurus energy here, that are more in line with what you want to see in reality, what kind of passions you want to actually carry out, okay? And this will be how you can like align with that prosperity energy and just pay attention to that prosperity mindset and what are the characteristics of someone who's in a prosperous mindset, right? What kind of thoughts and feelings might they emanate from their space? And then you'll be able to actually emanate those for yourself and create the reality regardless of how it comes about. Any messages or guidance for we're moving on to Capricorn. Oh my gosh. Itchy, itchy. So when it comes to the Capricornicus, we have the Emperor. So you're going for your passions right now. You're passionately going towards something. You're in a very fast kind of go-getter energy right now during this time. You're passionately aiming towards a certain goal, which is, you're just in that fast Aries kind of energy, okay? You're doing, like, going with your first instinct, acting on what you want to act on, acting on your passions, acting on your drive. Yeah. And then also we have this card here. We have the Five of Cups, but this came out in reverse, okay? So making me think that you are appreciative of what you actually have during this time. You're in this energy, or you could use this energy to appreciate really what you have during this time, which will kind of allow you to bring in more abundance because you're like manifesting more of that cloud of appreciation, right? And that's allowing you to manifest more things that you actually appreciate for you to experience. And then with Aries, like obviously Aries, we know this is about the I am. So you're focusing more on your personal self, your personal affairs, your personality, how you express yourself, your like who you are. Basically, you're focusing on all these things, and this includes shadow work. This includes everything. Um, Specifically when it comes to like you being generous, like that other deck that came out, like you may be feeling like you're being over generous or over giving to certain people, so you're jumping into a space of being a little bit more stingy per se, which is not much because you didn't delve too deep into that space, but you're still being mindful and you're doing that shadow work, looking within, being intuitive when it comes to the way you feel, right? And this is allowing you to kind of carve out yourself, carve out who you are in a more sufficient way, in a way where you're able to actually be known or have a status or make a career out of the certain state of being that you're in, which is really, really cool. So you guys are on that right. You guys are on a good mindset right now that's going to lead you into more um experiencing more beneficial scenarios rather than negative scenarios. Nothing will come of this situation. What the fuck? I want to pull a card for that because that like kind of threw me off. Nothing will come of this situation. A neurosemantic cycle begins. like my first thought when I saw nothing will come of the situation was about like not having expectations, right? Okay, well, this card. I pulled a card to clarify on nothing will come of the situation. Some kind of regret or feeling like you lost. So, not like it's saying not to focus on whatever you feel like you've lost here, which is probably why this card came out too. Like, don't focus on whatever you've lost or feeling isolated. Could be a possible thing because we have the Emperor Aries, which is the I am. So don't focus on that energy of feeling isolated or feeling trapped in a certain space, right? Or feeling lost, remember that nothing will come of that, and it's just going to help to manifest and breed more of that energy, right? So the more you focus on the positives, the more you start to see the positives, even though it may be hard. You know, every day is an uphill battle at the end of the day. So just starting is a good enough effort, regardless of if you make a good enough effort in your own eyes. Just having that ability to actually make the effort is what matters. All right, and then we have a new romantic cycle begin. So this is talking about even though you may feel like lost or like you have kind of lost a certain thing in life, or you're isolated from something, a new romantic cycle begins. Is like talking about you're gonna find or you're jumping into a space of like attracting more things that are actually in line with like how you feel, how you want to relate to the world, and are more in balance with your state of being, your state of mind, and what kind of things you actually relate to. Libra kind of energy, right? So the things you love, people, places, and things, they are going to come towards you, or they are already coming towards you. In order for you to even lose something, that's kind of like an opportunity for something to come in because now a space is empty, right? So it needs to be fulfilled. Space always is looking to be fulfilled. Then we have luck is on your side and the answers you need are coming, all right? So remember to have that optimistic mindset. Maintain that optimistic mindset if you don't already, which I think you are trying definitely. And the answers you need are coming. The more that you have that mindset, the more that you maintain that mindset of being in a state of like more positivity and pulling yourself out of that state of like kind of loss, regret, feeling like you don't know, feeling all that lack kind of energy, right? You're going to experience more of scenarios that are actually going to prove and show you the truth about how you already thought, because you manifested that from the inside out, utilizing your thoughts and feelings to emanate and manifest that creative expression. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed that part of the reading. That was our Capricorns. And also, I just wanted to go back. Scorpio was Sun, Moon, Rising, and it doesn't really matter because if you were Scorpio, you probably ain't even up to this right now. But yeah, I'll remember next time. That's going to be a lesson for me to do next time. I'll remember to actually say Sun, Moon, Rising, and blah blah blah. But yeah, anyways, Scorpio, and then we were Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Jupiter. Scorpio is Mars. Capricorn is Sun, Moon, Rising, and Saturn. And then so is Aquarius, which is the next one. So Aquarius, what energy are you guys in during this time? What energy are you in, Aquarians? Rah. The Lovers in reverse. Okay, so you are like kind of in a disharmonious energy right now. So in terms of being in that disharmonious energy, okay, so this is causing you like it might be like an inner conflict that you're going through, but either way, like there's two sides of yourself that are not so much in harmony, all right, and this is causing you to have kind of an indecisive space or an overthinking space, feeling torn between two thoughts, two ways of being, two aspects of yourself, with the Two of Swords, all right, or this could also be you because I asked with this card is what energy can you utilize, so you may need to separate from being relatable when it comes to certain things. Something that you may be relating to or communicating about is not so beneficial for you during this time, and you'll know, if you are able to pick up on different senses on your day-to-day life. It may be something that you're relating to that you just think is like you're kind of doubting whether or not it's good or bad, but this is a confirmation like it's not exactly the most beneficial thing for you. And when it comes to talking about beneficial or non-beneficial, everything in moderation at the end of the day. So being mindful of that will allow you to realize that nothing is really good or bad when it comes to like just everyday kind of life, right? Certain aspects of life are definitely bad, but when it comes to certain aspects of everyday life, it just depends on the nuances or the complexities of the situation. Because you may be doing something for one specific reason, but another may be doing it for a completely other reason, right? But when it comes to like an overall concept of good or bad, if that person's doing it for negative reasons, negative intentions, then that's obviously that's where we draw the line, you know what I mean? But when it comes to just those things that you may think that are kind of light-hearted, they're not exactly the worst thing, or but when you overindulge into that thing, that is here to show you like you maybe need to um jump out of that energy a little bit more, all right, and not so delve deeply into that. And then we have the Ace of Wands as well as another energy that you can utilize. So initiating, being more expressive about the way that you feel in certain aspects, right? Separating from a stagnant space or separating from a space of like overthinking or over reflecting about things. Jump into a more action oriented based space, right? Act on things a little bit more rather than like overthinking and being in that indecisive two of um swords in reverse kind of energy, right? So bringing balance to yourself through those kind of stuff, being more action oriented, being more action based. Aries kind of energy, right? Or Capricorn as well. The end of a tough cycle approaches. So when you that's another energy that you can utilize is that Saturn kind of energy, separating, taking action to actually separate from a certain situation, or it's taking time to actually build and grow a certain situation that you've been wanting to have faith in your dreams. What did I say? Taking that time to build and grow something that you actually want, taking action on your dreams, having faith, and rather than thinking about it and overthinking about the outcome of your dream, have faith that you can actually carry out what you wanted to carry out, okay, boo? Because you can do. And don't overburden yourself with so many responsibilities. Hop out of that conflict mindset, guys. Aquarius, shout out to you. Sun, Moon, Rising, and what is it? Oh, shit. Let's go. So, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Saturn. Saturn? Sorry, guys, I just had to move because the phone is dying. Okay, so messages or guidance. We are moving on. Hope you guys enjoyed the reading. Aquarius. Moving on to Pisces, the last one in the zodiac. Any messages or guidance for Pisces? Okay, so the Lovers card, right? This is like a harmonious kind of energy. You're doing what you love. You're in harmony with yourself. You're in harmony with the way that you feel and the way that you think. Okay, so it's like leading you to a state of being at peace. You're cultivating your own inner world, which is allowing you to emanate the world that you want to see. Right? You're building up this like life for yourself that you've created, and whether it be through like your passion, what you love to do, whatever that may be, but it's like this harmonious energy, this harmonious space that you're in, and you're building up a more harmonious and balanced world because of it, right? With the world here, but then also with the full, or you should build up actually, because this is more like what can utilize. Sorry, guys. So with this card, you're in a harmonious energy. This is talking about cultivating that energy and like building on it, constructing more on it, making it a more of a like a world than just like an energy or a space, right? Helping to expect expand that world, helping to grow that world and stuff like that. And then we have the Fool in reverse. It's like taking more risks, right? Being more of a risk taker, or like kind of putting yourself out there, jumping into that full energy where you're more free, you're not so rigid and restricted, right? And then we have the Ace of Wands, yeah. So it's like taking risks, take a chance right now. That's a good energy that you can utilize. Take a chance on your passions and the things that you would want to do, the things that you would love to do. All right, take a chance on these things, love. And then we have the Knight of Swords, okay? So the Knight of Swords is talking about charging and going towards, or being like not really charging, because that's what I think of when I think of knights, but like we're not trying to break down allegories at this point in time. I'm just trying to read the cards. So talking about like being more forthright with the way you're communicating, being more assertive when you're communicating, right? Being more like sturdy when it comes to your ability to communicate, and maybe even like like being like mentally strategic when it comes to how you communicate, strategic about how you go about things, even though this is talking about taking risks, right? Being or no, sorry, actually yes, let's tie it back into that, because that makes more sense and I always like to correlate it. So the Fool, and then the Ace of Wands, and then we also have the Knight of Swords. So taking risks and communicating, putting yourself out there, going to different places, right? With the Knight of Swords, going to different spaces, connecting to different people, communicating with different people. All right, and then we have the Queen of Wands in reverse. So this could be what's it called? I want to pull another card on this Queen of Wands. Oh, yes. Okay. So with the Queen of Wands in reverse, I think it's talking about with the Hierophant next to it, like don't always be so traditional or predictable when it comes to the way you express your creativity or the way you express or go about your passions, right? Sometimes it's good to try new things and take risks with that Fool card and put yourself out there in ways that you maybe didn't think you would do at all. Because those situations can be the most beneficial. Situations can be the most um, l- um how do I say that? Most learning material or whatever. But you get the idea. You get the idea. Messages or guidance. What you Pisces can utilize during this time, love. A time to give rather than take. Okay, so being more generous, but I don't think that's just to do with like money. But if that resonates and you've been thinking about being more generous lately, maybe that's your confirmation. But it's giving, and in terms of like I think tying into that other card, putting yourself out there, right? And then don't let your past hold you back. But also South Node is that comfortable kind of energy. So it's saying to put yourself out there and to give more of yourself to the world, to express yourself more, and kind of create a new routine and pattern, a new ritual for yourself to be able to put yourself out of your comfort zone. So, in terms of like, that's kind of low key goes against what a ritual is, because a ritual is like a set of things that you do the same way, right? Over and over every day. But when it comes to putting yourself out of your comfort zone and jumping into that North Node energy, it's talking about doing something new, putting yourself out of your comfort zone in terms of those things. So, it's like a ritual of putting yourself out of your comfort zone, right? And then we have work through your fears. This will help you to work through and push through your fears because you're forcing yourself. It's like if you've ever heard of rejection therapy, this is like a way for you to kind of battle that rejection internally. And even though you don't need it, I would implore you to do it, because it may be a little bit harder to do it when you're in a negative space as opposed to now you're in a positive space. So it's like kind of the best time to do it. But at the end of the day, it's your life. You do what you want to do, and this reading was for you. So when it comes to those kind of energies, put yourself out of the comfort zone. Boo. Okay. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Pisces, you were as well. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Jupiter. All right. So shout out to every single sign in the zodiac. I hope you guys enjoyed your reading, and I will see you guys for the next video. Okay. Laters. Peace.